Hello and welcome to another daily devotion. As this week we talk about lessons to the heart, and a good week to be doing it as we conclude Mother's Day and come up to what will be Confirmation Sunday this Sunday in our church. The idea, the commands of our parents at baptism to raise our children up in faith. And this lesson to the heart comes from my mom when I was a boy and might say or speak something judgmental, which I'd like to think wasn't a frequent occasion, but she would tell me something her father would tell her, and that's you never know until you walk a mile in somebody else's shoes, what it is that they're going through, what it is that their life has been. And it's always stuck with me. And so this is a story I've told in church several times, but one in which I share with you today. There was a boy in my school, we'll call him John, and he was kind of heavy set. He wore corduroy and striped shirts every day, kind of futzed around in how he walked. And I remember in gym class, we had these presidential achievement awards, and, you were ranked on how you did nationally, and there were shuttle drills and high jump and reach and long jump and mile and all those things that, we didn't have to climb the rope, but outside of that, pretty much everything else. And there's push-ups and sit-ups. And I remember that John could not do a push-up. And did he get ridiculed by the class, even the teacher. And I remember feeling sorry for John. And unbeknownst to many, John was not only a nice kid, he came from a really poor family, probably why he wore the same thing every day, and he was an incredible artist. Because I had art class with him, and he was really an amazing sketch artist and could draw, had some incredible talents. And I remember one day in the lunchroom, we were all sitting at different tables. In high school, there's a pecking order. The popular kids, the jocks, and over in the corner, the geeks and the dweebs and the nerds. And everybody kind of knows your group, where you fit in that pecking order or don't fit in. And John had gotten his lunch tray, and he was shuffling back to his table where there were three boys who always sat together, John, Ken, and Kevin. And one of the boys on the football team, as John was passing by and looking ahead to his friends, stuck out his foot underneath the bleacher bench and tripped him. And John went flying, and so did that tray. He went crashing into it, and all that chocolate pudding he'd been carrying went all over his shirt. And everybody in the lunchroom, woo! Some people cheering and jeering, and there were about 150 kids in there. This kind of deafening roaring and laughter, and there was John trying to pick up whatever dignity he could, wipe off the mess. Couldn't afford another lunch. The hooting and the hollering from the boy who had done it, and all his buddies on the team who were ribbing him on. John went to go sit in his chair at the cafeteria table where his friends sat, and they abandoned him. They got up and left, leaving him to sit all by himself. It's true it wasn't a day of cyberbullying and that kind of stuff, but I'll never forget that day. You never know what it's like to walk in till you walk in another person's shoes. What is it to love your neighbor? And for me, a moment where I look back and think of cowardice. Because everything in my being when John was tripped wanted to stand up and say, "Knock it off! Stop!" To go over to that kid that had tripped him and say, "Who do you think you are?" to invite John to my table, to help him pick up his stuff. But I didn't do any of those things that day. I tried to atone for it later. And I'd like to think there were times when I did. But maybe it's sometimes in our moments, hard public moments, when doing the right thing isn't a popular thing or it doesn't get all the accolades or cheers, but it's a thing Christ would do. And maybe it's the times when we fail to do that that we endeavor never to let that happen again on our watch. A failure of a lesson to my heart that took roots in a lot of other ways beyond that cafeteria moment. I wonder what yours may be.